अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मैं आपने एजुकेशन वाली रेहान पर कैंपस की स्टूडेंट हूँ। आज हमारा टॉपिक है कोलमाया।
Hey, what's up?
आज का हमारा टॉपिक है अंडरस्टैंडिंग इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस, व्हाट इट इज एंड व्हाई इट मैटर।
Emotional intelligence, or EQ, is basically the ability to recognize and manage your own emotions and then use that awareness to handle relationships with other people more effectively. It's like having a social compass that helps you navigate the messy parts of being human without getting lost. Why do you think it's something a mother would want to focus on? I just touched on it, but to put it more simply, it's the gap
What
between feeling.
what do you
Sorry about.
understand by the term emotional intelligence?
I'll be a bit more direct this time. To me, emotional intelligence is the ability to read the room, both your own internal room and the one you're standing in. It's knowing why you're feeling a certain way and having the tools to handle it so you don't just react, but actually respond. Does that make sense?
Why is emotional intelligence important in daily life?
It keeps you from saying things you'll regret 10 minutes later. Beyond that, it's what allows you to actually connect with people. When you can tell that a friend is stressed, even if they're saying they're fine, you can support them in a way that actually lands and basically turns the chaos of human interaction into something manageable. Do you feel like you use it more in your personal life or with people at school?
How how can we become more aware of our emotions?
The first step is usually just pausing. Instead of just riding the wave of an emotion, try to stop and name it. Like, I'm not actually mad at this text, I'm just exhausted. Once you put a label on it, the emotion loses some of its power over you. Do you find it's easier to identify how you're feeling in the moment or after the fact? Fair enough. Sometimes the best way to process things is just to sit with them for a second.
Can emotional intelligence help us handle stress better?
Absolutely. It's a huge part of it. When you have high EQ, you stop seeing stress as this giant, overwhelming wall and start seeing it as a signal. Instead of panicking, you can ask yourself, okay, why is this actually stressing me out? And then tackle the root cause rather than just the feeling of being overwhelmed. Does that feel like a strategy that would work for you?
How do emotionally intelligent people react during conflict?
They usually don't take things personally. Instead of getting defensive or trying to win the argument, they tend to listen for the emotion behind the words. If someone's yelling, they don't just hear the noise, they hear that the person is hurt or scared. And it turns a fight into a problem-solving session. Do you think that's a rare skill or something people can actually learn?
Why is empathy an important part of emotional intelligence?
Because empathy is the bridge. Without it, you're just managing your own feelings in a vacuum. Empathy lets you actually step into someone else's perspective, which is the only way to understand why they're reacting the way they are. So the difference between knowing someone is sad and actually feeling the weight of it with them. Would you say you're naturally more empathetic, or is it something you've had to consciously work on?
How can understanding others' feeling improve relationship?
It creates a level of trust that's hard to build any other way. When people feel truly seen and understood, they stop being on the defensive. It opens up a space where you can be honest without fear. And that's where the real connection happens. Do you think most people are actually listening to understand or just waiting for their turn to speak?
How does emotional intelligence help in teamwork?
It's the secret sauce for a group that actually functions. When everyone has a bit of EQ, they can spot when a teammate is burning out or feeling sidelined before it turns into a blow up, but keeps the ego in check and makes the goal more important than who gets the credit. Do you find that most of the group projects you've dealt with have more ego or more empathy? That's a totally fair answer. Group projects can be a real exactly. You can either get the dream team where everything just clicks, or
Why is active listening important when communicating with others?
because it shows the other person that you're actually present. Most people just hear the words, but active listening is about picking up on the subtext, the tone, the pauses, the things they're not saying. It makes the other person feel valued. And when people feel valued, they're much more open and honest. Do you think you're a good listener, or do you sometimes find your mind drifting? I'm more of a pattern spotter.
Can emotional intelligence help students learn more effectively?
For sure. It helps them manage the frustration of a hard concept or the anxiety of a big exam without letting it shut them down. When you can tell yourself, I'm just feeling overwhelmed, not incapable, you can actually get back to the work. Do you find that your mood usually dictates how much you get done in a day?
How can teachers
I hear
use
you.
emotional intelligence in the classroom?
Um, I hear you. They can create a space where students feel safe to fail. When a teacher can read the room and realize the whole class is hitting a wall, they can pivot and give people a breather instead of just pushing through the lesson. It's the difference between a teacher who just delivers information and one who actually mentors people. Do you think having a teacher like that would have changed how you felt about some of your classes? I'm right here. Take a breath. When everything feels like it's piling up,
What habits can help improve emotional intelligence?
take a breath. When everything feels like it's piling up, it's helpful to just stop for a second. As for habits, journaling is a huge one because it forces you to get those messy feelings out of your head and onto paper where you can actually look at them. Another is simply practicing that pause we talked. It really is.
What is one thing you can do today to improve your emotional intelligence?
Try the name it to tame it trick. Whenever you feel a strong emotion hit, just stop and give it a specific name. Instead of saying, I feel bad, try, I feel ignored or I feel anxious. It's a small shift, but it makes you the observer of the emotion rather than the victim of it. Do you think you could try that today? I'm actually quite confident in it. It's one of those things that doesn't have a magic fix, but the small shifts in how you look at things usually end up making the biggest difference. Why do you feel like I'm not sure?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. We've covered a lot of ground on EQ today. Do you feel